What's going on, guys? One day the weather will be good enough to go outside, but for now, yeah, you can even tell that's a little dark out compared to like our other videos that we've been here.
Still stuck.
Yeah, still stuck. But for now, we'll talk a little bit more. Today we have a cool little one. We're gonna talk about we're gonna give our take on the 5 best disc golf teams right now going into 2024 season. So obviously it'll be a little different, and then you'll see based on something be like, that's not true. This team's better. We're going off of players right now going into the 2024 season.
Correct. Obviously, everybody plays for a manufacturer, but they are still technically on their team.
Right.
So any player who is sponsored by the same manufacturer, we put them into a team. We've gone to the websites, we've gotten their rosters, we looked them over, and we just are giving our opinion on what we think. Some of it I don't think a lot of this stuff can really be argued. Maybe kind of towards the bottom, but I think the top few, definitely the top 2, I think are pretty easy.
Yeah, I think people will be able to see or people will agree. I would say some of the bottom, like the last spot, like number 5, maybe could be interchanged, but that one could be,
Yeah, I could definitely see how that could be interchanged, but I mean, we put the one team there for a reason. So
yeah. We're solid on them, and then we'll get right into it. Pops, you want to take number 5? And then
I'll take number 5. All right, so the 5th ranked team going into 2024 that we have is Prodigy. They have the Robinson brothers, Isaac.
World champ.
Arguably, you got him and Heimberg 1A, 1B as the best players in the game right now, arguably. Mm-hmm. So you got Isaac Robinson as a Robinson, and you still got KJ there. They got LaVisca still. Obviously, he's kind of transitioning to that to playing MP40, some more Masters tournaments. But they kind of some of their lower players like Luke. He can still go off. Luke Humphreys, he can still go off. Everybody saw that. It wasn't last year. I think it was the year previous.
Yeah, what did he win? He won something.
He won. He almost won Waco. He ended up winning. Did he win Vegas? I don't think he. Honestly, I'm not sure if he won or if he was just coming in like the top 3.
Yeah, I remember seeing it
for a while.
I remember seeing it on like Instagram or like social media, going around on social media, and I remember being surprised and being like, "Good for him."
Sure.
I'll be like, "Good for him."
Yeah,
but he can still do it, like you said.
And you can see, like as the season progresses, guys like Luke, and nothing against him. He's a good player. He's playing on the tour and he's competing on the tour. It's just as the season goes on, you can see like that type of tier player tend to fall back to the middle of the pack. So, but they do have, obviously they got Isaac, and I'm telling you right now, if you weren't watching last season, towards the end of last season, Ezra Robinson, he kicked it up a notch, and he was in contention, finishing top 10, top 5, winning some. I think he won a silver event. I can't remember the name of it, but I know he did win one last year. The only big knock is like for them right now is their FPO team is kind of like non-existent.
No,
I know they have like Caroline Henderson, but I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah,
I was looking over their team.
I said Miss Frisbee like kind of as a joke, but she won
at least.
But the thing about that, obviously about that tournament is that no one was playing in it.
Right.
But it is sad though that like your FPO player that won like is the person that you like is your social media person.
Right. And then obviously Prodigy took a hit with Gannon leaving, Alden leaving. So, and then, Babcock the year before. So, I mean, they've lost some really good talent, and yet they're still, in the top 5. So that's saying something.
I'll do number 4 here. We got MVP. See, this is one that might make some of you guys mad, but like I said, we're talking about going into the 2024 season. Eagle's hurt. Eagle's not going to be performing, like Eagle right now.
I mean, he's almost better. I mean, he's going out there practicing. He's starting to throw forehands, but he's still not 100%.
All right, then we'll bring it to number 4 here. Number 4, we put MVP as a number 4 slot. Like I said, going into the 2024 season, we all know Eagle's on MVP now, but with his injury, we put him at number 4 spot because we don't know what he's going to do going into the first event. He hasn't had that, like all the other pros, have been playing touring events. And so from not going to play touring events to going back into touring events, we couldn't put him or put MVP at the top spot. Even though they do have Simon, and the other big names that they have are obviously James Conrad. In FPO they have Sarah Holcomb, Lane King. Some of you may know Lane King. You should know Lane King if you don't know Lane King. She's been around for long enough.
Hot minute.
So those are like the big names. Then there's other ones: Matt Dollar, Paul Kranz.
Yeah, they just signed Paul Kranz.
Yeah, they just signed Paul Kranz, young guy. But like I said, no one that we're like expecting, besides like the big names, like those other extra guys, no one we're expecting to come in there and just like, we're not saying, but Paul Kranz is going to go and win a couple tournaments this year.
Right. He's young.
We can't say that for a fact. He has a chance. Like, he's young. He's a good player.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, he's young. People are expecting good things out of him, but again, he's young. I mean, look at Gannonburr when he was just starting out. So that took him a couple of years, and now he's taken off. But yeah, I totally agree with you when you're talking about Eagle. It's not just that like he was hurt. It's that it kind of lingered through this off season. So getting familiar right now, he is charging full steam ahead, trying to get used to these MVP discs. I know if everybody saw the video with him and Simon doing the blind field tests.
Oh yeah,
and he got every single one of them right, which is freaking insane.
Yeah,
but he's still got to throw them. He's still got to get used to them, and that's going to take a little while. He's still Eagle McMahon. He's still going to go out there, and he's still probably going to do just fine. It just might take him a little while to get back to that Eagle McMahon that we all know and love and enjoy watching. When the season starts off, I'm really confident in two of their big three. And Conrad, somewhat. If he shows up, he can win.
Yeah, somewhat.
Lazat, obviously, he's shown the past couple of years he can win, winning multiple times each year.
His consistency, has gotten a lot better the last couple of years.
As soon as Simon decided to stop throwing trick shots, with every shot and got a little bit more conservative, started playing disc golf, he's become a force. So, he's out like the past couple of years, he's been in, if not in the mix for play of the year, on the outskirts. So that's why we have
number 4 MVP.
So we got number 4. All right, so that brings us to number 3, and at number 3, to start the 2024 season, we have Discmania.
Oh.
They are not. Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll see. Right now, I am more comfortable going into a tournament and betting on their top 3 versus MVPs right now at the start of the season, just because of Eagles' injury and him getting back into form, because they just signed Gannonburr, who I don't think is going to skip a beat. I don't think switching brands and switching plastics is really going to have too much of an effect on him. Maybe with the putter, once he can kind of get that locked in, find one that he likes. I think he's going between the PA3 and P3X or P3X.
Yeah, the P3X, and I've heard that they might even make a flex, like a new flex plastic. They might rebrand the
Rainmaker?
Yeah, I heard they might rebrand the Rainmaker for him and make it in a new plastic.
I mean, they might as well, right?
Yeah.
And then they obviously still have Klein, who just won USDGC. I mean, and I believe Waco last year also. So you have a multiple time, 2-time tour winner last year, and then they have Niklas Antila, who left Discmania and then signed with Discmania.
Yeah, he's with Discmania. Yeah.
No, did you? So in this off season, when the day of his contract was up, he put out a statement saying thank you and looking forward to the next chapter.
I remember.
And then all of a sudden, he just signed for another 4 years. So. I mean, I don't know what that was all about. I don't know if it was kind of a fake out thing. I don't know if enough people are watching Niklas Antila to care. But he's still there. He's an outstanding player. He's always in the mix. He always seems to be in the mix in like the big tournaments. So
that's funny you say that, because I was looking at the Discmania Throwers and Collectors like back when like people were waiting for the Eagle announcement. People were talking about it on the Discmania Throwers and Collectors, and someone brought up that. Someone was like, "Hey, Nicholas isn't on the thing," and then everyone else was like, everyone else said, they probably just messed up the website when they took Eagle off."
Yeah, from what I understand,
that's so funny.
Is that what they ended up doing is he left the one team and got brought up into their like Sky team or whatever.
Oh, that's good for him though.
So there you go.
Yeah, and if you know European players, he's one of the ones that you know.
And then as far as their FPO, they don't have very many either, but they do have Ella Hansen, who has the ability to go into any tournament and win, as long as she can get her putt down and not. I mean, she was in contention a few times, couldn't quite get the job done, but at least is up there. And then for MPO, they signed Harris to a 2-year deal. Alden Harris, who I think is underrated. I think he is a very, very good player.
He is.
And then they already had Gavin Babcock, Casey White,
Silas Schultz,
there you go, and Colton Montgomery. So they have a decent team, really stacked at the top, and that top tier of their team, we put them above MVP just because we think they're ready to go and are going to they're going to be ready to go longer. They're going to come out of the gates ready to go, as opposed to maybe having to ramp up like MVP might with Eagle.
I agree.
So
yeah, from like Discmania and MVP, if you're comparing them, I would say that like MVP more is like heavily stacking like their roster on Conrad, Eagle, and Simon.
So if you took like multiple things into consideration, not just skill, right? Not just straight up, these guys are playing disc golf, who's going to win? If you take the total team concept and the manufacturers into consideration as far as skill, as far as social media, as far as disc sales, things like that, then I would definitely give it to MVP.
Yeah.
MVP might be the number one ranked just from social media alone.
Yeah.
With Eagles, Simon, Silas Schultz, he's very underrated. If you haven't watched his stuff, check him out. He's all over the place.
That stuff's cool.
So, but when we're just going skill,
I agree. Yeah.
So.
And at number 2, if you've been watching disc golf for a long time, you might cover your ears for this one, because number 2 we have Innova. You know, Greg Barsby, Philo, obviously, Freeman, Garrett Gerthy, Calvin Heimberg. Calvin Heimberg he's like the superstar.
He's arguably the best player in the game right now.
Yeah, so I would say he's like their centerpiece. And then you have like Jeremy Colling, Big Germ. He's older. Lots of these players, you can see that they had prowess.
They did, yeah, and they're still serviceable.
Yeah, they're still good and they can still compete. But it's like they're not
going to win.
They're not the level that like Calvin Heimbergs, the Simons are, and the Eagles are right now.
Yeah.
Bradley Williams, Emerson Keith.
Bradley Williams underrated too. I mean, he won, I want to say, last year. So.
Yeah, Emerson Keith, my disc golf dad's on their team.
Yeah, just signed.
Just signed.
Yep.
Good for him. Apart from the MPO, what really sets Innova apart, in our opinion, is their FPO. They have a really deep bench, or a really deep roster on their FPO. Jennifer Allen to Haley King. They have Juliana Corver, Kat Murch, Owen Scoggins, Solonen. These are the FPO players that you'll see. Like, you'll see all their names.
Solonen, especially Solonen and Blummers. Imagine if Solonen and Blummers practice putting over the off season.
Exactly. Yeah.
Straight off the tee. I mean,
Solonen can huck them.
Solonen is insane. Off the tee, I don't think. I'm pretty sure.
And Blummers.
I can say this. I'm pretty sure this is a fact that she is the best FPO thrower off the tee to green. It's putting. She cannot putt. She literally missed. I mean, if anybody watched cover, I'm not trying, and I'm not being mean. I love her. I think she's really good. She's missing 10 footers, like back to back, like on the same hole. So if they can kind of get that together, they're stacked. Haley King's a beast.
Yeah.
If she keeps her head in the game, you saw it last year. She won at least once. She's a beast. Kat Murch won. She's just going to get better. Everybody knows Owen. Owen is the ageless wonder. She's winning Masters tournaments and winning FPO tournaments out here, Pro Tour tournaments throughout the year. So their team is stacked as far as FPO goes. There's not another FPO team on a manufacturer that plays for a manufacturer that is as deep as them. They go into every tournament with a chance, as long as Tatar's not there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, as long as Tatar's not there. And if you watch like any FPO tournament, odds are you're going to see each and every one of those players' names. Like if you're watching like throughout the tournament that you watch it, you'll see their name. You'll see like each and every one of those players' name at least once, which is very impressive for like all of like a huge part of your FPO roster to be showcased like that every week. Yeah,
and it's like you were saying, like, as far as their MPO guys, the MPO players they have. All great players. The only standout is Heimberg.
It's a good standout.
Freeman is a very good player. Didn't make a whole lot of noise last year. Had some kind of, had a couple shining moments, but nothing really crazy.
Yeah, Garrett, depending on the course and the conditions, because if it's really windy, we've seen him not play very well.
And you've seen his putt. He's got like the weird high arcing hyzer putt. It doesn't usually work super well in the wind, but he can sling them. I mean, he's got a chance to win. He had a chance to win. I forget. I want to say it was one of the tournaments in Oregon that Simon won 2 years ago. Girthy had the lead going into like the final hole.
I remember watching that one too.
Everybody likes Girthy, but as far as skill wise, they have enough at the top to be competitive. Their FPO is very, very good, and that's why you had them at 2.
Yeah, but this begs the question though: who's the best team?
It's not because I'm a homer, even though I am a Discraft fan, but I'm a Discraft. I'm an MVP fan. I'm a Discmania fan. But number 1 is Discraft. So let's just start with the FPO. You got Paige, who's still the GOAT. Mm-hmm. She still is. Tatar may end up taking it from her, but you never know. Let's see how she performs after coming back from her ankle injury this year.
Yeah.
Then you got Big Money Missy Gannon. You got Holland Handley, who took down USDGC last year. And Valerie Mondahano, who was hurt most of the year, came back and still won. Won an event.
Yep, you're seeing her name all over last year.
Was that? Yeah. And then the year before last, she won multiple. She was in talk. She was, up there. 1, 2, 3. Probably not 1 because that's Tatar, but she was around 2, 3 ranked for FPO prior to her injury. And then for the MPO, they are stacked. Discraft goes into every tournament with about 10 guys who can go off and win.
Yeah.
That's the skill level on their team. You got Paul Macbeth, you got Chris Dickerson, who had a down year last year and is still a stud. You got Adam Hammis, who's kind of streaky but still found a way to win on tour last year.
Yep.
You got Ezra Aderhold, who hasn't quite done it yet, but has come really close, especially in the European Open. Mm-hmm. Actually, I was so rooting for him at the European Open.
I know, me too. I want Ezra to win.
The only one who's on the team, who's on their elite team, who maybe shouldn't be there, is Brody. I know why he's there. He's multifaceted, with social media, with disc sales, and with his play, and it's just whether you. I like the guy. He cracks me up. A lot of people don't, but I love him. There's a reason. That's the reason he's on that team. He's probably the one guy on there you can be like, yeah, you're not going to count on him to win one. But after him, you got Corey Ellis, won the European Open. Yep. You got Aaron Gossage, who if he can freaking learn how to putt just a little bit better, might win. He's going to be in contention to win on almost every course.
He was on lead card for Worlds 2 years ago.
He went to the playoff. Him and Macbeth went to the playoff to win Worlds. And he missed the island and didn't get on there. But it was kind of his putting down the stretch that kept him from winning. But that's a great example. The two guys competing to win Worlds that year were both Discraft. Then after him, you got Barella, who should have won.
Everyone's waiting for him.
Who should have won the European Open last year, but couldn't make the island.
We all want the stud.
Tons of talent. And then they just signed, not even arguably, they signed the best lefty in the game in Chris Clemens. So they are stacked up and down. They don't, obviously, nobody has the best. None of these teams have the best FPO player because that's Tatar, but after her, I don't know who else on Latitude 64 they have. Help me out in the comments.
They have some European MPO pros,
Yeah, they do.
We didn't, but you could make the case that she makes her entire FPO team. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You could have that case, but
that's true. But it's when you say team and not player, you got to take the entirety of it into consideration. Granted, she's.
Because she's the best FPO team.
She's going to win 10 a year. So I don't know. That's a great point. Honestly, we maybe could have pushed Prodigy. No, I'm just kidding.
So if you guys are liking these disc videos, comment maybe an idea for the next one. We had one commenter comment, a really good one, 5 discs that we wish we hated that ended up liking, 5 discs that we ended up liking, ended up hating.
Yeah,
Or we wanted to like, ended up hating.
There you go.
Wanted to hate, ended up liking. So that's a pretty good one. We're probably going to do that one. We also have like a cool video showing off our disc golf collection coming. So stay subscribed, stay tuned for those. If you made this far in the video though, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.